reported speech, or at times we can say direct and indirect narration. Before we start, let us understand the terms direct and indirect. Now, in simple terms, we can say direct narration is a statement in which you get comma and inverted commas, whereas in indirect speech we remove comma and inverted commas. For example, he said I play chess. Now over here comma and the inverted commas are given to us, so this one will be a direct narration. Whereas if we remove comma inverted commas, then this will become the indirect narration. Now coming on to reported speech and reporting verb. Now reporting verb is generally outside comma and inverted commas. Now over here in the above statement, he said is a reporting verb. Now anything that is inside the inverted commas, that is reported speech. I play chess. This statement is given to us in comma and inverted commas. So this one actually is reported speech. Now before we begin, there are 4 rules for changing a direct statement into indirect statement. The first one being the rule of connector or connectors. The second one is the rule of tenses. The third one is the rule of persons, and the last one is some other rules or other laws. Now the first thing, when any statement is given to us, suppose a statement is given to us, he said I write a letter. Now suppose this statement is given to us, so the first thing which we will do is we will try to find out the sentence that is given inside the inverted commas to us. Now over here I write a letter is given to us inside the inverted commas, so we will have to spot out the sentence that is given to us. Now generally we will get 5 kind of sentences. Now we will start with assertive sentences. First of all we will get assertive sentence. Now what actually assertive sentence is? We all know assertive sentences actually are simple sentences. They can be in affirmative, they can be in negative. So they are simple sentences. We can say a general structure is given to us, that is subject, verb and object. Coming on to imperative sentences. Imperative sentences are the sentences in which there is no subject, or we can say the sentence starts from verb. For example, I say open the door, sit down, follow the traffic rules, help the old lady. All these sentences, they start from verb, so they are imperative sentences. Coming on to exclamatory sentence, a mark of exclamation will be given to us. Similarly, in optative sentences also a mark of exclamation will be given to us. Now what actually is the difference between exclamatory and optative sentence? Now exclamatory sentences are the sentences which show sudden human emotions. For example, oh, ah, hooray, and exclamations like that. Whereas in optative sentences, generally the sentence starts from may you have a long life, and then followed by a mark of exclamation. Coming on to interrogative sentence, a question mark will be given to us. Now we all know interrogative sentences are of 2 kinds. One starting from WH group and the other one starting from helping verbs. Now moving further, why there is actually a need to identify these sentences. Now, as we read earlier that there are 4 rules for change of direct into indirect narration. So the first one over here was the rule of connectors. Now connectors we all know, they just connect 2 words, 2 clauses, 2 sentences, or they just join something. Now over here he said is a reporting clause. I write a letter is a reported clause. So there has to be something over here so that we can remove comma inverted commas and make it a single statement. For that we need connectors. So when to supply and how to supply the correct connectors, for that identifying of the sentences becomes absolutely imperative. Now as far as assertive sentences are concerned, we always go with the connector that. With imperative we go with to. Exclamatory also takes that. Optative also takes that. Now coming on to interrogative, we will have to be a bit careful about this, because if the interrogative sentence starts from WH group word, then it is not followed by any connector. Whereas if a sentence starts from a helping verb, in that case we can go with if or whether. I hope this is clear to all as to how to supply correct connector. Moving on to the second point, and that is the law of tenses. Now the first rule says that the tense of reporting verb is never changed in indirect statement. Sorry for this. So the first rule says that the tense of the reporting verb is never changed in indirect statement. This means a sentence is given to us. He said, I like sweets. Now over here the tense of the reporting verb is in simple past, that is second form. So and this one actually is in a direct statement. So once we will change this into indirect statement, the tense, as I said, of the reporting verb, this is a reporting verb. So the tense of the reporting verb over here will not change. So it should be said itself. That means in second form. But the important thing is, but we can supply other verbs according to the sentence that is given to us in reported speech. Suppose a sentence is given to us, he said, comma and commas, is he a doctor, and then question mark. Now the sentence, this sentence actually inside the reported speech is a interrogative one, because it is starting from is, and is actually is a helping verb. Now since it is helping verb and starting from is, so we will use connector if. Now as discussed earlier, we will never change the tense, that is we will never change the form. This one actually is in second form, so we will use the second form over here. But over here we can supply other verbs according to the sentence that is given to us in the reported speech. Now in the reported speech, interrogative sentence is given to us. So over here we can use he asked. Now he asked actually is also in the second form. So this thing is important. The form should never be changed. But yeah, we can supply different verbs at times. So he asked if he was a doctor. Moving on to the second point. Moving on to the second point. If in the reporting verb present tense or future tense is given to us, then the tense of reported speech is never changed. That means anything that is written outside the inverted commas. Suppose that one is given to us in present tense or future tense. In that case, the tense of the reported speech will never be changed. For example, we can say he says. This one is in simple present form. Or maybe we can say he will say. This actually is in future form. So this one is future tense. This one is present tense. Now, as discussed earlier, if anything is given to us in present or future form, and this we are talking about the reporting verb. So if they are given to us in present or future form, then the tense inside the reported speech is never changed. For example, he says, comma and commas, I like sweets. And coming on to the same example, he will say, comma and commas, I like cricket. Okay. Now once we will change them, so this in this the tense over here like, this will never be changed. Persons will be changed. I will become he. So the right answer will be he says that he. With he we add SNES. That's why we will use likes. So he says that he likes sweets. Similarly with will say, he will say that he likes cricket. That means we will never change the tense of the reported speech. Moving on to the next point. If reporting verb is given to us in past form, then the tense of reported speech will be changed. Now, how to change them? If simple present is given to us, it will change into simple past. If it is given to us in present continuous form, so it will change into past continuous form. Similarly, present perfect will change into past perfect, and present perfect continuous will change into past perfect continuous tense. Simple past tense can be changed into both simple past as well as past perfect. Past continuous will change into past perfect continuous tense, and past perfect and past perfect continuous tense, there will be no change, but they will remain as they are. Similarly, will, we all know, will change into would, shall will change into should, can into could, may into might, whereas with must, used, ought, would rather, had better, there will be no change. With universal truths also, habitual actions, With proverbs, there will be no change.